Cavaliers finalists for NBA Coach of the Year, Kenny Atkinson.
Started the game off talking about the defense and what you guys wanted from the defensive end. What was so significant about what you guys did defensively from start to finish?
It was just a collective effort, like a collective focus. We kind of knew, right? It's on the road. It's a little bit different. Like what we talked about before the game, you really have to lock in defensively. You're not going to make shots at the level you do at home. And our guys knew that was the key, defending and then winning the rebounding battle. We really executed defensively, executed the game plan. Did a good job on Tyler, keeping him, just trying to limit his touch. With great players, you can only try to limit their touches. So we did that. But Serena, I thought the key was, in the beginning of the second half, they came out and they really raised their level, probably 3 levels. And we answered we weren't making shots, miss. And we kept getting stops, and we just had to keep our head above water. I felt like that beginning of the third quarter and we weren't making shots. And that's usually when the game evens out, and we just kept it, kind of kept it where it is, because we didn't react to missed shots.
I think the other night you said something to the effect of DeAndre Hunter is going to be huge in this series. Yeah. He's going to win us games. What do you make of what he was able to do without one of your starters tonight?
Great. And I was going to talk about his offense, but defensively, he was is everything we traded him for, his physicality, his size, be able to switch onto Bam, right? Having him and Dean be able to switch onto Bam, and now we got Evan on Tyler, and it's just a real luxury. And then offensively, I thought he was great. He's so skilled. He shoots it. He can play pick and roll. Super talented player.
Yeah. Can you guys start off? You down 12-4 at the first media timeout today. And then obviously things clicked quickly after that. What was the message in that?
Listen, Bam hit that super contested 3 in the corner, and then Ware hits a 3. And you're just like, that's where as a coach, you just got to keep it like we're doing. We came out with the right mentality. Our disposition is good. We're competing. I didn't feel like it was like, we're not locked in, or it was a little bit bad luck. And then on the other end, we had 2-3 open looks. So you really got to be, not reacting to the score, which is weird, right? Like, hey, but it's more what's really happening out there. What's the process like? And I thought our process was good.
What did you think of what Evan did defensively today?
Oh man. I mean, we've been really pushing him and JA to, pressure Bam more, pressure Ware more. I think today was the like kind of, we finally got there. We finally got where they were up and they were bothering him. He's a great quarterback. With us kind of top blocking Tyler, it's a huge part of it. And then of course, we got to our switching lineup with Dre and Dean. You can't forget about Dean tonight. I thought that little switch helped us. Just getting him more minutes. I felt like on the road we needed his rebounding. And that, him and Isaac kind of switch roles, and I thought Dean was great.
So, I saw Max open the game on Tyler. Was that an adjustment, or had he been opening the games on him previously?
No, he started on him.
So was it more about just like you've been talking about, getting to your switch lineup a little bit differently that enabled you guys to throw more bodies at Tyler?
Yeah, I just think again that was kind of the Dean thought. The Dean thought, getting him in for, as one of the top subs, and just to change it up. Again, I thought that helped.
And then we asked you before, or somebody asked you before the game about what Darius said or whatever. I know what you said.
Yeah.
Was his basic point true? Was that the game plan? Because it didn't really seem like you guys were attacking. Like you were doing all kinds of stuff today.
Listen, we do a lot of stuff, and that's, that's not our general philosophy. We're a ball movement team, and But listen, there are situations like anything, you want to increase someone's defensive usage, that helps you on both sides. I don't, wouldn't say it was specific to one player. It's a little bit, things come out in the wash with the way we play.
Right.
You guys were without Darius.
Yeah.
Donovan didn't have his normal scoring production type of night.
Yeah.
When you're able to put together an offensive performance like that without those two guys at their normal levels, what does that just say to you?
Yeah, and I didn't think it's not like we shot the three a ton or shot it great, right? It was more the cutting, the give and goes we had. I thought we were driving they were taking us off the 3-point line. We were driving it and getting into their paint. That's why we got those kind of big to big stuff and all that. So it was a really little bit of adjustment to how they were playing. But yeah, I mean, that's who we've been all year. We're just, we're deep and we're skilled, and we're not skilled just at the top 3 positions. We're skilled, kind of 1 through 12 rotation wise. Sam's super skilled. Max is skilled. Ty is incredibly skilled. So, it's a little bit of product of the talent we have.
Sure.
Game 3, round 1, Cleveland Cavaliers, Miami Heat, the All-Stars. Donovan Mitchell on the floor, Darius Garland out. The Heat's All-Star, Tyler Herro, looking to build off his 33-point game. Heat come out, sounds of life. Andrew Wiggins helps them to build a 9-point lead. But from there, the Cavs go on an 18-0 run. Jared Allen getting the party started. DeAndre Hunter getting in on it. But Wes, how about Max Strus giving it to his former team?
He felt the type of way, didn't he? I mean, that's the kind of energy. When you play against your old team, everybody can say, oh, it's just another game. Nah, it ain't never just another game.
Well, he was fired up. Gets the pass over to DeAndre Hunter here, who gives out some eye candy. He was 6 for 8 from the field. Ty Jerome with the alley-oop. He had 11 assists. And the Cavs high flying. Hunter driving again. Another dime. Down low to Mobley. It's a 20-point lead at the half. And we haven't even seen Donovan Mitchell in the highlight. Here he is. This felt like the dagger, George.
Yeah, I mean, anytime everyone's scoring and then you see their superstars start scoring points, I mean, it's demoralizing for a team.
Zeke, you've talked about that killer instinct. The Cavs, they had it when Miami tried to make it a game in the second half.
I think they had it from the start of the game. Again, their presence, the way they walked out on the floor, the way they started the game, they just gave the impression, not only are we the better team, but we getting ready to let everyone know in the building that we're the better team. And that was 1 through 12. I mean, everybody that came in played with a purpose. They played with meaning. They played with force. They were extremely impressive. And we look at the 124 points and we say, yeah, that's nice. But the most impressive thing is 87 to Miami at home in a playoff game that they absolutely needed. So big respect to Cleveland today.
Yeah, that's the 6th time this postseason that a team has failed to get to 90 points, and the 15th time they failed to get to 100. Here's Erik Spoelstra as his Miami Heat are facing elimination.
Let's start this off. See if I can check off some of the things that you guys want to ask. But clearly a very disappointing day. Look, our guys have really want this. And it's probably looks like our guys don't, but I know, what our last 6 weeks have been like, just to fight and scratch and claw to get into this. And that's why this is, such a disappointing game, because I know how much everybody cares. And we laid an egg today. A big part of it was Cleveland. They once we jumped on them at the start of the game, then they just took control of it from there, and it became an avalanche going the other direction. And sometimes when you care, you just, there was a level of discouragement that kind of fed into that avalanche. And That's what we all feel disappointed about. From a tactical standpoint, I have to do a better job, helping our team offensively. In particular, Tyler and Bam, they've done a very good job just selling out to try to take those two guys out, particularly out of our normal things. And that's playoff basketball. I have to do a better job. We won't have all the solutions, by Monday, but all we'll be focused on is one game. And that's a sign of great respect. Tyler's earned that. He's absolutely earned that kind of respect, how they're just basically, it's a man-to-man, but it's a boxing one man-to-man. They're denying him all over the place because they know how dangerous he can be. And the same thing with Bam. Bam, creates so many triggers and opportunities for us. Especially when he catches it in the paint, they're swarming. So it makes sense from a coaching standpoint when I see it, and now it's up to us, to counter that now and make sure that they're both and Wiggs, can continue to play or find a way to get in their strength zones against a team that's really selling out to take them out of that.
Coach, it seemed like during that 18-0 run in that first quarter, they were really clogging up the lanes for you guys, and even
big time.
And even finding kind of a lot of points in the paint. I think they finished with 60. Can you just kind of talk about those?
Yeah, that was the discouragement that kind of led to a lot of breakdowns. So it wasn't easy for us offensively. We've been rightly so become reliant on Tyler creating a lot of offense, for us, and they kind of took him out of his normal stuff, with the face guarding and denying. And that led to some of the discouragement where our defense has been really good of late. And tonight it was tough to recognize our defense. And I think that was from the discouragement of our offense not really flowing the way we're accustomed to it doing. That's why I have to do a better job. And that was a very good job on their part. But there are, normal things that we can defend much better. Doesn't necessarily mean it's going to end up in a stop. There were some things that we did defend well, and they had, some buzzer beaters at the end of the clock. But there were a lot of mistakes also, and I think it led from, some of the tough offensive possessions, and we're living in those possessions, and it just kind of led to more. And that's where we have to work on the next 48 hours is to be better, in those situations.
Speaking of that face guarding they're doing with Tyler, you had that success in game 2, getting him off the ball and creating opportunities for him there. What changed from game 2 to game 3 in that area?
They just sold out even more. There has to be more team recognition with it. It's not the first time we've seen it, but they do it well. And they have two bigs that also can protect, extremely well. If there is an advantage that, they close those advantages quickly. But everybody has to be on the same page with that. And we just have to be better, collectively, finding a way to get Tyler, Bam, Wiggs to the strength zones against a team that's trying to take them out of that. And it can't be, without it being in a normal flow. If you're going out of your normal thing, you're exhausting, trying to get open, then now you're playing into late in the clock.
Not a lot of rookies get a chance to start in playoff series. What do you hope that Kalel can learn from a game like this?
It's not only this game. It's, it's the 2 games before this. It's the 2 play-ins. We're also dependent on his minutes. How many minutes those may be. And I understand he's being fed through a fire hose. And, he just arrived here in July, but you still inherit all of our experiences from and expectations of previous playoff, of last year. He cares. We're coaching him hard, and, I feel for him because there's an expectation that he has to be there like a vet. These are important learning experiences. He's getting better from it because if anything, he's not like at the highest level, whether it's effort, awareness, a communication standpoint in the playoffs, you pay the price, on that. So he cares, and he'll go right back to work tomorrow, and that's the thing that I respect about Khalil.
Obviously, Andrew's important to what you guys want to do. With them selling out to Bam and Tyler, how important is it to get him activated? What's the challenge? He's
really important. He has to be assertive. He has to be aggressive. I have to do a better job of getting him in spots where he can really produce for us. And that's the task, in the next 2 days. He knows it. I know it. Our team knows it. That could also look a lot different if you're selling out on Tyler. If he can, really put some points or create some actions for us. It doesn't have to be points. It can be just making the right play and going to him and it being really efficient for us. That can make the other team blink. But again, I have to do a better job of getting him in places where he can feel, comfortable and aggressive.
Last question. How do you feel Tyler's handling the kind of the emotional and the intellectual challenge of how they're guarding him? And you're holding yourself accountable, but also how do you hold Tyler accountable?
Oh, Tyler cares. Tyler goes to work at this. Come on, he just had a monster game, and what they just said, we're going to do whatever we have to do to make sure that he doesn't have that. That's born out of respect. We'll all get to work, and that's what Tyler always does. But this is playoff basketball. All the really good players have to go through this. You get schemed, and the schemes are on steroids, in the playoffs. He'll respond. We have 2 days, to figure this out.
Thank you. Tyler Herro, 13 points on 13 shots, his lowest scoring output of the playoffs this year. Miami Heat also struggled to score just 87 points in that 37-point loss. Here is Tyler Herro at full.
Tyler, obviously that's a quality opponent out there, but I think you guys also think there is more that you can offer or show or throw back against them. What's it like going through one of these? And is there a disappointment in coming home and not being able to make it more competitive?
Yeah, definitely disappointing. Just not enough to obviously compete against a team like that.
Tyler, they're obviously throwing a lot at you. You found some success last game playing off the ball a little more, but today, what did they do differently maybe to limit your shot attempts and maybe make it a little tougher on you?
We call it topping, like keeping me from coming off and not allowing me to get any handoffs or coming off pin downs or anything like that. So they just pretty much face guarded me and downed me into the corner.
You've faced defenses that know how to top block, the switch over those actions. What do they do that's kind of like at a different level? And how do you feel about, like, now that you're the number one option, like being in this challenge where the whole defense is geared to take the ball out of your hands?
I think they do it best, honestly, just because the two bigs that they play. So if you're forcing me inside the arc before I even catch the ball, I'm catching the ball in the paint or under the 3-point line, and they have two bigs down there clogging up the paint. So I think that's kind of their process too, is just try to force me inside the line and into their bigs.
Tyler, obviously, when a team is down, obviously 0-3 in the series, obviously history is really against that. Can you just kind of talk about maybe the mental approach kind of heading into a game 4 when you're down that much in the series?
Yeah, I told the guys in the locker room, we wanted to be here. We're the 10 seed. We had 2 games to win on the road. We could have let go of the rope then. We could have, lost one of those games. But we wanted this. We wanted to be in the playoffs. That's our reality right now. But like I told you guys, it's not time to let go of the rope. We're going to play to the final buzzer. And whether that's next game, game 5, 6, 7, another series after this, we just got to keep playing. That's what we're paid to do, and that's who we are as an organization. We want to compete, and we're not going out 4-0.
Tyler, to that end, what the stats say when you get down 3-0. Is there a freedom that comes with now there's absolutely nothing? Now you're supposed to lose. So now is there a freedom that comes with there's going to be minimal expectation now on you guys the rest of the way. Is that a place where this team can kind of flourish?
I mean, yeah, but I don't think the expectation was high on us to start the series either. So who knows? We'll see what happens. I just know we need a better disposition throughout the entire, game.
How did it change so fast? Because first 5 minutes, you guys were getting stops, getting out and going. Everybody would seem to be touching the ball. It was working. And then, as Bo would say, it was like that. I mean, when it changed in an instant. What went sideways?
I think it's kind of been like that all year for us. When things go the other way, they go the other way quick. I think that's on me and Bam, as I told the guys in the locker room. That's on me, Bam, mainly me to have a better just energy, better everything throughout the game. Trying to just lead the guys. I got to be better in that area.
Thank you, Tyler.
Former Kentucky Wildcat Tyler Herro. Here's another former Kentucky Wildcat. Bam Adebayo had 22 points on 20 shots.
Bam, you even spoke to us yesterday how the expectation was to come home, make things better, get things right, and maybe reset the series. So how frustrating does it leave you guys to wind up with a result like this?
It's embarrassing, flat out. But, I feel like just worry about this next game Monday. Man, there's no point of looking at film at this point. Scratch this game, and then you got to move on to Monday.
Bam, Spo described how they're defending Tyler is not a box and one, but kind of a box and one man-to-man. There was success in game 2, getting him off the ball and getting him some opportunities there. What changed between games 2 and 3? What are they doing better?
I mean, obviously, you see the baselines. You see him not being able to get his normal catch and shoots, his normal boogie moves, and we'll have to adjust. Plain and simple.
Bam, obviously now down to 0-3 in the series. Obviously, history is not very grateful towards that number. But you've said before, not let go of the rope. Does that need to be even more amplified to kind of the group?
Yeah. Hell yeah. I've been a part of a team that was up 3-0, and then in a blink of an eye, we were going into a game 7. So obviously, there's still a chance. As captain, me, I'm going on swinging. I don't care. We gonna ride it till the wheels fall off.
Can you take us through the play where you got banged up, and what was you got under the basket? Yeah.
I mean, consider I was the one getting flipped in there. I can't really know what happened. But y'all know me, man. I'm always figure out how to get up, walk it off, and get back out there. I've been tough my whole life, so one fall can't stop me.
Tyler said a few minutes ago in here that he got up in the locker room and talked about how you guys had to win 2 road games just to get in. How you've had your back to the wall before, how this isn't the time to give up. Is that going to be the message from you as well, and maybe even more emphatically, knowing how you like to give messages?
They understand my mentality. They understand my message. At this point, I don't really got to say a whole lot. Understanding what's at stake. I just know, we got to clean up a lot of stuff, including me. I had 6 turnovers today. Very out of my character to have 6 turnovers. And a lot of them were unforced. But like I said, we're going to get back to this thing on Monday.
Congrats again to Evan Mobley, crowned a Defensive Player of the Year, 19.6 rebounds, and the win for the Cleveland Cavaliers.
I feel like we kept our composure. That was the main thing. They came out pretty fast and came out with the first hit, and we kept our composure, got it back, and from there just played our game and our brand of basketball.
Kenny offered a lot of praise for Max, not just for today's game, but what he's done throughout the course of this series and throughout the course of the year. What stands out to you about the way that he has fit with you guys in that starting group specifically?
Yeah, he's like a Swiss Army knife. I mean, anything you ask him to do, he'll go out there and do it, and do it to his full capability. And I think tonight he did a great job on Tyler Herro, just making it really difficult on him, not letting him touch the ball, just swarming him and being in the right spots at the right time. And we need that from guys like that. And then also offensively as well, being protective.
Before the game, Kenny talked about composure and coming in here with the right mentality. How much of an emphasis was that from him before this game for you guys?
There was a big emphasis. That was like his pregame speech, and these past few days we've been talking about it as well. We're coming into their house, so we knew that they're going to have the energy and want to come out with energy, and I feel like we matched it and exceeded their energy.
You are obviously spending a lot of time defending Bam. He had 6 turnovers this afternoon. Kenny talked about the pressure that you were putting on him when he's on offense. What do you think you're doing well defensively right now in regards to him?
I feel like you said, just putting pressure on the ball, and then also just help side a lot of the times, whether it's Herro or Duncan Robinson or any shooters coming off, trying to read that play, be involved in it, help the guys guarding them, and get back to Bam as well. So that's really my job right now.
Evan, this may sound ridiculous, or it may be right, if I'll just ask. Did the effort that you put out today as a team, did it have anything to do with the back and forth between Darius and Tyler and wanting to kind of have Darius's back a little bit?
Maybe a little bit, but I feel like we were going to put out this effort regardless of what's going on. We definitely want to prove where we're at right now, and every time we step on the floor, we want to just go out there and play our brand of basketball. And I feel like that's what we've been doing these past 3 games, and we're going to continue to do that throughout the playoffs.
And then, I mean, everybody's been talking about, composure and maturity and all those things. I don't think today was the first day that you guys showed that. Like, when did you start to realize that this team had grown and sort of you are who you are now?
Started like the beginning of the season, really, from that 15-0, multiple 15-0 runs. To get that many wins in a row, you have to have composure. You have to have maturity and not let games slip. Even if it may be easy, we might be on a run. But I feel like we've built that throughout the season, and we're continuing that now.
All right. DeAndre was involved in that first quarter swing and sort of going off of Max starting and how he fits. How does DeAndre fit off the bench, and how does he just change the dynamic when he's able to come in with his skill set?
Yeah, we've been doing a good job of getting him involved these past 2 games now, and getting himself involved as well. Anytime he sees a mismatch on the offensive end, he's been aggressive and creating plays for us. And defensively, he's also great for us as well, and guarding multiple guys and switching on to bigs as well. So he's a great off-the-bench player for us right now.
And you guys put together this game without Darius and largely without Donovan, at least his normal production levels. Is a game like this help in just in terms of like a secondary confidence factor?
A little bit. I feel like we all knew that we're all capable of this as well. This is nothing new. It's happened during the season as well. Guys been out, and it's just a next man up mentality. So I feel like guys stepped up, and we delivered tonight.
Evan, so many of you guys coming into these playoffs have talked about having a chip on your shoulder and playing with that chip on your shoulder and wanting to continue that throughout the course of this playoff run. What is that a result of?
Just our past experiences in the playoffs. We want to come out and go out there and prove what we are capable of doing, and I think we're doing that night in and night out so far.
Anything else in the room? Appreciate it. So game 4 on Monday between the Cavs and the Heat, and that could be a sweep in the first round.